welcome. It's fantastic to have you all here in our building in Uxbridge. So this is not only the GB headquarters, but it used to be the European headquarters. It is now the Europacific headquarters as well. So we're going to tell you a little bit about our journey, but yeah, you've come to the wonderful Uxbridge. I sort of made the comment at the last meeting, we've got to get out of Birmingham. It's always Birmingham. And then I obviously appreciate the challenges of getting into Uxbridge. And in particular our car park. But I am delighted with how many of you have successfully navigated it. So as Jagdeep says, so my name's Sharon Blyfield. I'm Head of Early Careers and Apprenticeships. I never use the three-letter acronym. I'm Head of Early Careers and Apprenticeships for the organisation within GB. I've been in the business, last month was 30 years. So I've had a lifetime here. So our apprentices, you haven't even reached that age yet. And maybe just some of the patrons haven't reached that age as yet. So I guess I've got a lifetime of experience with the big red company. Yes, as I say, for me, I've been with the business 30 years, not clearly doing this role for all of that time. I started off in finance, so as a numbers girl, then moved in commercial and used the numbers for that whole commercial and sales piece before coming into what we call here people and culture, and then driving the agenda here. If we could go on, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about our journey, and I'm also conscious of time and we can talk over lunch, and most people have read my bio and what I'm doing on some sort of social media anyway, so brilliant. So for us, our journey really began probably in 2014, which is when we had a very, very small apprenticeship offering, which was engineering in just a couple of our sites. And so we consolidated and centralised that because we wanted to have a consistent approach from an apprenticeship perspective across our organisation and actually start to link it in with, well, what's the strategic direction that we're going in. And then we started to expand our programmes. We introduced our first business administration programme. And one of the things we learned quite early on is that you can't do anything alone. You need to have industry partners to work with. And that's when we partnered with the National Skills Academy for Food and Drink. Yes, I know MMA is not on there, but, you know, we'll come to industry partners expanded, okay? And then, of course, as Simon's already said, we had the levy that was introduced in 2017, and there is nothing that focuses the mind more than the government taking money from you. I'll calm down now at this point. So we were never going to spend all of our levy. You know, we just knew that that was never going to happen. But what it did do is it gave us an opportunity to look at where else could we have apprenticeships. So we had engineering, we just started on the business administration, and then we introduced our sales apprenticeships. And that's kind of evolved as time's gone on as well. We had to then also think about who are the delivery partners that we were going to work with. And it's fair to say that we got bitten very early on in 2017 because there was a training provider who went out of business, is the only way I can describe it. And that's where our sales apprentices were. So as a result of that, we learned very quickly that when we're really doing they call it the beauty parade, we really needed to look below the surface of the beauty parade to make sure that the partners that we were working with were actually proper partners. And that's when I first, I guess, really got introduced to Ofsted and people's Ofsted reports and looking below the surface of they might have gotten a good Ofsted, but actually did their apprenticeship offering also have that, or were they requires improvement? And you can really start to see below the gloss within all of that. And you become educated really, really quickly, because when you're the one that the business is looking at to say what's going on, they expect you to know everything. But also in 2017, we got recognised by government. So there's a lovely letter that Anne Milton sent out back in the day, you know, that we just talked about how much we had given from our apprenticeship programme. So that was the first initial bit of recognition that we got. But we also, at the same time, introduced our Career Builder programme, And I suspect some of you may have these. So these are where you use the apprenticeship, and I know Lucy definitely has, where you use the apprenticeship for existing employees and you help them to either upskill, reskill, think about career direction. And so we introduced our Career Builder programme. Some people used to call it an adult apprenticeship, and I was like, well, why would you call it an adult apprenticeship? What's wrong with the young people? Are they not adults? So we wanted a really nice way to wrap it up for people to absolutely understand and change that mindset about apprenticeships. Fast forward to 2021. So there's obviously a lot happening in between 2017 and 2021. COVID was one of them as well. We've finally got the dedicated early careers resource. So it's been me since then. It's still me here. But during that journey, I was business partnering as well as heading up early careers, which meant that I was doing 2 jobs, 1 salary. And I got to a point that said, I can spend, if we want to expand this, I'm spending 80% of my time on early careers, apprenticeships and everything, and only 20% business partnering. So if my stakeholders want to talk to me, I'm in the car during these times so we can have conversations then. That wasn't sustainable. I wasn't doing right by those stakeholders. I wasn't doing right by myself. And I also wasn't doing right by the apprentices because I couldn't focus on them. So we made the decision, it should have been 2020, but you know, that thing happened. So 2021, was when I became fully 100% dedicated. But in the intervening years, one of the things I'd set out was an ambition in 2019 that we would start to win awards. And it wasn't about our internal recognition, it was about external, because that told us somebody else was marking our homework for us and was saying, what you are doing is really good. And when you don't win those awards and you get that disappointment, what was my expression? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. When you don't win that award, you kind of go back and you reflect, what is it that somebody else is doing that maybe we should be doing or could consider to adapt and adopt. So since 2021, we have been award-winning. We have award-winning programmes and we have award-winning apprentices who I'm even more prouder of. They're not here today. They're all at uni this week. We had a few of them in at the beginning of the week. We also then, even though this is the Apprenticeship Alliance, we refreshed and relaunched our graduate programme because it was really important as a big corporate organisation that we had another pathway and another opportunity for those who had made the decision to go via the university route. But interestingly enough, my graduates who joined the business on a 4-year programme in 2021, this month all started their level 5 coaching apprenticeship. So, you know, they may have gone to university, but they are still going through an apprenticeship as far as I am concerned, because everybody needs coaching and that's a great thing for them to be doing. But we also launched in 2021 our degree apprenticeship programme because we were initially level 2, level 3, level 4, and internally, our career builders could do the higher ones, but we wanted to have that opportunity to bring that early talent into our business going through the degree apprenticeship, and that's working well for us. We launched our virtual work experience and created digital badges, because if you can all think about it, during lockdown, that opportunity for that in person, but equally as well, you know, we're a great big global organisation, we have a great big reach. However, from a resource perspective, there's only just over 3,000 employees in the United Kingdom, and over 2,000 of them are in our factories. So being able to have lots of opportunities for people to come in to do work experience is nigh on impossible. But actually, this programme now allows across the United Kingdom people to be able to experience and understand what we do as an organisation. And we set schools challenges within that as well. We took part in the Kickstart scheme. That had its highs, it had its lows. But, you know, we had 7 young people in the end who ended up with roles within our organisation who probably thought to themselves that would never happen to them. So I see that as a success for all the hard work we put into it. And we also were then accredited with We Invest in Apprenticeships Gold award. And then there's more coming. We want at least 10% of our workforce to have come through the early careers pathway. So we're looking at more and more programmes. We've done levy gifting and we want to do more levy gifting because we think that's really, really important as part of our social responsibility. Be able to do that. We're going to build in our internship programme. At the moment, it's very ad hoc. Hello, my friend wants to do an internship. Do you have anything? Depends what level you are in the business to answer that question. We need to have consistency. We need to be able to ensure that we open that door much wider for others to be able to participate. So a few things in the works there. Expanding our school outreach. We are building our workplace capabilities for skills of tomorrow as part of the programme. But what we really want to be is recognised as a world-class programme. So that's my next big rock and big bet, is to be recognised. So we've created lots of pathways to get into our organisation. You can steal with pride. I don't mind this slide. Are you going to share the slides, by the way?
Yes, I am.
I'll get these over to you. And so what we've ensured that we've got lots of work experience, job shadowing. That did say traineeships until back end of last year, and now it's changed to T-levels because I'd spent a year working on the traineeship programme, getting it ready to launch for this year, and then somebody made a bad decision. Obviously, our apprenticeships we've talked about, but also we have to remember we want to create direct entry-level opportunities as well, because not everyone wants to do an apprenticeship, not everyone wants to go to university. Some young people just need to be able to get into the workplace. So one of the things that we're going to be doing this year is looking at what are the jobs that we can say, actually, these could just be direct hire entry-level roles within that. If you think about it, I took you on that journey. Well, we didn't have an external platform until 2020 for early careers, which you probably find that hard to believe. You go, God, there's a good big brand. They must be future thinking, always forward thinking. No, because we're a big brand, we're very traditional in our approach. So we have created our early careers platform, 3 key segments, that whole work experience piece, our apprentices and their case studies, and then our internship placements and graduates. So that's where we can direct lots of young people and family when they've got inquiries about, well, what are you doing? How can I find out more information? That just talks about, I'll give you this deck, just some of the data and the insights into us working on our virtual work experience. We did the pilot with WizKids, and I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with WizKids, but they are for young people with disabilities, typically wheelchair-based. And wheelchair-based and other disabilities, and we adapted the programme to suit them, and we've extended that partnership further because what we wanted was a programme that was accessible to all. Our People Are Awards, so here are just some of the awards. Yes, you see, it is there. The Multicultural Award is there. But we are really, really proud. Every year we celebrate our early careers, so this was our first one since lockdown, that we were able to bring all of our apprentices together who had graduated. We do an apprentice-style picture for all of our apprentices and our graduates. So this is just some of the things that we like to showcase and talk about. This is an external deck I had to create. And I think there's might be one final slide. If there's not, that's fine. And then we like to showcase ourselves through lots of external publications, not just me, but all of my graduates, my apprentices are in there as well, because it's just really important that they get that limelight, that spotlight on them, because I might be the face, but there is a whole group of people behind me that allow us to be as successful as we are. And I think that might be the last slide. So thank you very much.